All right, everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Before anyone gets their panties in a bunch, I was working at a friend's house and I did not take any money, just helping a friend out here. So there shouldn't be a rule against that, helping out people for free. Anyways, today I went ahead and started by turning off the power, taking off the faceplate, unscrewing the device, double checking that all the power was off, and then I went ahead and tried to twist out the wires from the back of the device because it was stabbed in. Couldn't get it out, so I went ahead and just tried to pull it out with my strippers, and they kind of broke off into the outlet, but I took them out later. And then I went ahead by unscrewing the ground wire and took off the device, unscrewed the ground pigtail so I could take the wires out of the box when I flip it around. And then the hardest part, which actually wasn't too bad, which was taking the box off of the wall. I tried to pry it off, but it wasn't really working, so I kind of pounded on it, and it kind of started to fall off by itself, and then I pried it off, and then it finally came loose, slid it down the wall, and pulled the wires out. Basically just pushed the box down and then folded the wires out one at a time, and so that worked out great. And then once I got all the wires out, I just pushed the box down the wall because there's no way I'm getting that out, especially with the nails on top. And I tried to cut the box from the other side, but it didn't work with my multi-tool. So I went ahead and just kind of matched the outside edges of the box, which was a bad idea because it kind of blew out the backside, as you can see here. I still didn't really notice it when I was tracing the box, how far the blowout was. I figured that the plate was going to cover it, but it was just way too far, and it actually did not end up covering it. I got a bigger plate as well, oversized plate, and it still didn't cover it, so there is a little bit of brown paper showing at the end, which you will see. But I went ahead and traced the box, and then cut it out, and then sliced it with a razor blade and pushed that back into the wall. So I would suggest, if you're doing this, don't blow it out from the back side, just measure off the door jamb. Just remember, once you're measuring off the door jamb, to measure to the edge of the box. That way you don't make any mistakes like measuring off the plate or anything like that, or off of the hole, because those numbers do kind of fluctuate. I went ahead and cut off the top and bottom nail holes for the box because that would not fit through the hole in the wall. I would have used a cut-in box, but I didn't have one, and I didn't run to the store because I just figured that this would work, and it did. So anyways, I cut the tabs off and then pushed it through the back side, pushed the wires in, and then once I came back to the other side, I went ahead and pushed the wires into the box and slid the box up, and the box wouldn't fit through the wall because it was a little tight, so I went ahead and shaved off a little bit more, and then I went ahead and shot some screws through the side of it, and then once it was nice and tight, I went ahead and started reversing the process by tying the grounds back together with the pigtail that I already took off earlier, and then I went ahead and started by stripping out the wires again, and then curling each one of them, so stripping and curling the both whites and both blacks, because the plug was already kind of jammed in the back, and then I cleaned off some of the ground, some paint off the ground wire. So I went ahead and shot those down onto the sides of the plug, or receptacle, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, in the back of the receptacle, I didn't want to stab them in the back, so it was a better connection, because when I got here, the plug was only half working. There was an open neutral. So I went ahead and tightened all those wires down with my screwdriver, and then tightened it down to the box. Once I tightened it down to the box, that is when I finally realized that the plate would not cover the hole on the right side, and then I went ahead and tried to slide the plug over, and that is when the plug stripped out on the top screw, so I had to shoot a wood screw in there because I didn't have anything thicker like 832 or anything like that. So I went with the wood screw and then tightened it down, and I did, like I said, get a bigger plate, but it still didn't cover it. There was still a little bit of paper showing here on the outside, so hopefully that can get a little touch-up paint, and then we'll be good. But I went ahead and turned the power back on and tested it out, and everything worked. And then I went to the back side the next day, which was today. This was what it looked like at the end of the day yesterday. I came back, got some parts, got this cut-in ring from Home Depot. It's an absolute piece of junk. I would never suggest buying this. They didn't have the kind that I usually like to buy, where the tabs flip top and bottom. So this is all that I could find, and I thought it was going to be fine until I tried to install it, and it was a piece of crap. Anyways, I tried to tighten the screws down once I got it into the wall, and the screw holes did not even work. I had to force it in there. After like 10 minutes, I finally got both of the screws to tighten down, and I just kind of plopped it in there because I was on the edge of a stud on the right side. After I plopped it in there, I went ahead and tightened the screws down, and it held sort of, but it would have been better if I would have shot a screw through it or something like that, but I didn't bring my screw gun today. So anyways, I went ahead and tightened it down, and after I tightened it down, it was still kind of loose, and then I went ahead and tightened it down a few more times, and then after that, I just kind of adjusted it, and then that was pretty much it. So I would not go this route if you are using a cut-in ring. It did the job, but it's just basically floating there, so not the best job right there to let you know. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. As always, if you enjoyed and you found this helpful and useful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I'd love to see you guys back in the next video, and don't forget to check down below in the description down below for anything else, like my social medias, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload or do live streams. Hopefully this video helped you out. Thanks guys. God bless. Have an awesome rest of your day. Peace.